Okay. So hello, welcome everyone again. My name is Jeff. This is a informal program called Chi and Cha, a kind of conversation program. I try to organize such a program to have a conversation with different artists in Hong Kong, trying to share their visions or their lifestyle. So last time we invited the photographer, Bobby Sam, and this time we invited Cornelia. So before the conversation, I would like to thank you again, the venue supporter, provider, 100 Feet Park. 100 Feet Park actually is an artist-run space in Art Bill Gai. So now let us come back to the conversation. Today I will have just only two questions to Cornelia, and everyone, my friends and audience, can welcome to raise your questions. So this is my first question now, Cornelia. I'm making not formal, so I'm not going to make a detailed introduction. But I remember you come from Germany, but you're already in Hong Kong for a long time, since 2006.
That's right.
Which means in Hong Kong, I'm sure you already have some project did. For example, the public art project in the Legislatures Council buildings. And so let's go to the current time. What any recent project or ongoing or on progress project you're now working on?
Yeah, I don't know, I have some slides later. I don't know if I should flip through it or I can already talk about it. First of all, I just want to say welcome and thank you for hosting me and inviting me.
Just for fun, huh?
Yeah, it's fun, it's good. And I think it's an excellent idea to combine food and art and keep it more casual, and yeah, I think it's a great combination. I think and that's actually, maybe that's already the answer to your questions. My ongoing recent project is about food and art, and I maybe that's also has to do with my home situation. In the 9 years since I came, I had 3 children, and the last one is 2 years old, and in particular when he came into our family, I had to stop I had to interrupt my professional life for some time, because at the same time I had to take care of the older ones and then the little one. So I became a bit more housewifey, maybe is that the term, as far as I can say. Anyway, and I got more into doing things at home rather than at my studio. And so I went back to some project that I did in 2011 with chocolate and food, or chocolate and art. Maybe I have to do another detour, or I can flip maybe through some pictures. Yeah, so this is me. So I started to convert my studio more into like a kitchen environment. Although I still work, or I do the food stuff a lot from home, because I have better outfitting or better tools. As I said, it all started with this project that I did in 2011 with a friend of mine from Singapore, who's also an artist. That came all about. I did a project in Singapore on a light festival, and he came to my construction site, and he brought me some homemade chocolate. And I liked it so much, and it was so good, and it really saved my day and saved my project in the end, because I was so exhausted at the time. And then we started talking, and we said, okay, we have to make this maybe into an art project. Chocolate, food, art, it has to come together somehow. And so, because the project in Singapore was 2010 in autumn, and then I said, oh, why not next Photanian, when we have our open studio days in January, why don't you come over to my studio, because I also sometimes invite my artist friends from around the world and use my studio as like a mini artist in residence. And we do this as a project together, and we started working on making food art or chocolate art, let's say. So we created a series of chocolates where we experimented with unusual flavors or flavor combinations. So the whole.
How unusual?
Well, one spicy. for example, this one was a white chocolate truffle, but with curry and coconut ganache, and on top we had chili flakes and roasted cashews. And we had some friends of mine said it's like when you eat this truffle, it's like a journey that you start in Switzerland and end somewhere in Mumbai. That's how he described the journey that you have to go through, going through these flavors. So, and at the same time, we also tried to make some more local or Asian sweet treats. So, because in January it was close to the time of Chinese New Year, so we used the kumquats and put them in caramel, but added salt at the same time, and so we had lots of fun doing this. And also during Fortanian, all my studio guests, they also had lots of fun, and they were very surprised, because I don't know if you know, my studio is in Walloon and Fortan, and Walloon has still a lot of food factory. There's like on the 18th floor, 2 floors above me, they do barbecue pork, chasubao, and then all the roast duck and things, and then there's a lot of dim sum factory, and A1 bakery has to do some prepare their food.
By the way, are they quite near your studio?
Yeah, they're on the next building, so I can smell them. So food production is sort of very common in Fortan. And so I thought it's a great idea actually to do this in the studio as well, and bring it to another audience. And since 2011, a lot of people have asked me every time at Fortanian, where's the food? Where are the sweets? There's the food. And then this year finally I made it again. So I just stopped at some pictures. That was another project I did during the Fortanian. I built a 1 to 200 scale model of Fortan in chocolate croissy. So I made all the factory buildings in these chocolate croissy, as chocolate croissys, and then people could buy, or could be chocolate factory owners or factory owners for a day. Because at the time there was also the sort of the first peak of the property crisis and the rising prices of artist studios, and a lot of just like 2010, 2011, there was a big sort of change, I think, also of artist studios in Fortan and Walloon, because prices had gone so up, so that was in a sort of a quote to that political situation at the time, so that I made the scale model so people could buy factories for a very affordable price and enjoy it and eat it. And so it was actually so popular I had to make it so many times during the open studio days. But it was a lovely project, and if you can see, my colors look a bit different in here, but it doesn't matter. Or another project that we did, I asked family and friends from all around the world to send me chocolates, and then I tried to lay out a chocolate world map, and people could take chocolate and eat it. But I never got round to finish the world map because it was very popular as well. So it was eaten up quite quickly. And one part of this food project was to host a dinner, maybe similar situation as we do now tonight, at my studio. And I created, this is Brendan, my friend, by the way, and we cooked at my studio, and we created a dinner with 6 courses, and all of the courses had chocolate as one ingredient, but it was like a full properly cooked dinner. It was very nice. For me it's very clever. Yes, and so that was some of the things we had, like a chocolate risotto, or some fish with white chocolate sauce, or this is also pumpkin soup with white chocolate, and a salad with cocoa powder and dark chocolate in it, and pie, similar pie that I actually brought today, apple pie, but here I don't have any chocolate at this time, and a chocolate mousse, chocolate coffee mousse, and things like that. Yeah. Obviously desserts are easy, and sort of as an outcome of this project I made this book. I also have some copies here if anyone is interested. It is a documentation of the project and some of the recipes of our dinner. are in there. So whoever is interested. And that's the nice thing about working with food. But then always people are asking, where's the art aspect? And but I think it's quite relevant, or that sort of close.
But by the way, I missed something. You mentioned many times to using the chocolate.
Yes.
Any specific, or will you plan to try more on using it as a metaphor, or just by chance?
By chance? Well, well. It's part of. It's not only chocolate. I think I'm not a chocolatier, but I like baking very much. So I channeled my energy, as I said, more my housewifey energy. I channeled more into baking. Because since this project, people came back to my studio and asked me, where's the food? So this year I turned my studio into a bakery, and I made cookies, or bakeware, let's say. And then some of them had chocolate as an ingredient. But I followed sort of a similar concept, what I did with the chocolates a few years back, that I tried to create new flavors. This is some of my students. They came to help me. But I'm here in the background baking. So and I thought, okay, maybe this is sort of my path, what I have to do. So I created this label Zuckerwerk, which was also the title of our chocolates that we created at the time. Because Zuckerwerk is the German word. Zucker is sugar and Werk is work. Okay. So it's sugar works, and in German the word sort of can apply to any kind of sweet treat, sweet thing, anything that has sugar as an ingredient, for example. So I really I designed myself a logo, and I thought, okay, maybe that's now my new goal or a new passion that I'm working on. So I started creating cookies. For example, this one is a coconut, mango, and basil. A Thai basil cookie, or white chocolate, lemon, and ginger. Or these are apricots filled with Swiss cheese and dipped in white chocolate and in chili, sort of things like that. And and from there on, I had one invitation by Osage Gallery. They booked me for one catering for one of their openings, and just before I did this, I did the catering for a conference at the university, at the Academy of Visual Arts with cookies, and maybe this kind of path is at the moment my passion, and I really
so also
like
that's why I try to invite you to share this.
Yes. And I like. Actually, what we do here today is that I can share, chew, and chat at the same time with my artist friends, but also with people who maybe wouldn't be interested in doing art or seeing art or being in the art realm. So it creates a nicer and casual environment. It's easier to get in contact with the people. So I really, really enjoy that. And at the moment, I'm trying, to think about how I can do this in a more public way. So, because my studio, because it's up on the 16th floor in this industrial area, if I open a cafe or bakery or whatever there, it's lost. So I'm, that's at the moment what I'm.
The locations or the environment sometimes. Is
so, or I was thinking maybe join together with a gallery, or because I think it doesn't really make sense, or maybe it would make sense. Let's say, put it that way. It would make sense to combine it with other functions of other venues, or I don't know. When I was a student, I always wanted to open up a laundry shop. Where student can do their laundry, and a coffee shop and a hairdresser, like everything, like in one stop place. But so maybe something like that for artists.
On your career.
Sometimes what I'm missing a little bit are sort of opportunities to do these kind of installations that I did when I was still in Europe, sort of where you had the possibilities to do public artworks really in public space, like on a square, on the street, and where random people could pass by. Here in Hong Kong, everything is very regulated. There is no public space, actually. I mean, there are shopping malls, there's MTR stations, there's no really public space. And so last year, actually, during the time of the protests, I was actually quite happy to see all those things happening and popping up, and I thought, yeah, it's great, that's great. But unfortunately, it was just at this time. So, but I think Hong Kong can use more of that, or that would be lovely, or that would be my dream, like my perfect dream, to have more of those kind of happenings. Yeah, maybe also in the spirit of the 50s and 60s, like the situationist happenings, and just having things maybe just there for 1 or 2 days and then they're gone. But it's fine, it's fine. That's a bit missing in Hong Kong, and I don't see yet how this can be changed, or as long as the laws and the rules, and I'm always this is the cannot mentality. What I say, like in my shopping mall in Sha Tin, where I live, you cannot sit down somewhere. It's already like when I was pregnant, for example, I have little children, and then they need to stop, have a sip of a juice or whatever, then you need to sit down, and if you do, then some security guy comes, you cannot, just it drives me mad. It's just and this is not even trying to do something arty, it's just trying to be a human being. And sometimes I wish there would be a bit more room for humanity. Yeah.
But have you personally get used to such a situation?
Yes, of course. I mean, as I can still make a living as doing commission works, but they're always more like in a private bubble, or in a bubble, so they're not as open as I wished they would be. Maybe it's one of the closest projects actually was at the Let's Go project in where I met Gigi, 2010, 2011, because it's sort of open to the public, and maybe, I don't know if I can say democratic, but somehow, it's well, of course there are also rules and laws and things to follow, but it's still, I hope it can remain as a more public democratic space.